If you're a mother, get out. You're not allowed.
Wow.
Not made for you.
That's crazy.
Damn. Welcome to Not Your Mother's Comic Book Podcast. Yeah, episode 5. So my pick this week was DC's Dark Knights of Steel, Allwinter, which is a spin-off series from the Dark Knights of Steel that started coming out a few years ago.
I've never heard of it before.
That's it. That's Dark Knights of Steel. You've never heard of Dark Knights of Steel?
No.
Really?
I've never heard of the Dark Knight before.
That's blasphemy. The Dark Knight?
The Dark Knight.
The original story is pretty crazy. But I don't want to dive too much into that because actually I don't know where this takes place. I don't know if this is a prequel or if this is after what happens in Dark Knights of Steel. I'll start on some of the first issue. This is issue number 2.
Right.
It's all about Slade Wilson. If you don't know who Slade Wilson is, it's Deathstroke.
Deadpool.
No, Deathstroke came first. Then Deadpool was a spoof of Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure he was.
But this is all about Deathstroke. As you know, this is medieval times, but Deathstroke is a Viking. He's really badass. You know, he's a big, bulky, bearded man with fucking the badass like tusk horns on his. No, it goes down. Oh, there you go. It goes down. Yeah, on his helmet. It's really cool. And it starts out in this one battle going on. Black Mask, his clan's like fighting against his other clan. Black Mask, but he gets assassinated right away from Deathstroke because he's just him. Deathstroke's just him.
He's just like Deadpool.
And he no. Deathstroke works for Vandal Savage actually. And if you don't know,
the Immortal.
Vandal Savage, the Immortal. He started out as a caveman and he just blew it off forever. That's Mystery. Is that Mystery Immortal?
No, it's just Immortal.
Oh, well, pretty much the same person then, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much. Except Immortal's good.
Yeah, and Invincible Immortal's good, but in this one, DC, Vandal Savage is bad.
Right. Like,
awful
evil.
Yeah, Vandal Savage hires him to do another contract right off the bat.
Of course.
To go find this person and acquire this package from them. And he goes, and it turns out it's his wife that he has to steal it from, but the package is actually this child.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, now I'm getting...
So that's where the child...
Because I haven't read the book.
Oh, that's right. We're doing something different. We all read each other's books.
Yeah.
We all read each other's books, and you guys also read my issues, which I know you guys have both said you are lost from. So that's what I'm trying to sum it up.
Yeah,
so, yes.
So now it connects the dots.
Now it connects, yes.
What happens when you jump in on number 2?
Yeah. Yeah, you could have easily went to number 1. That's essentially what happened in number 1. He was assigned to go take this package, bring it in dead or alive, whatever, but it turns out it's this kid. And what we find out is that his name is Alec, and he's colored. For some reason...
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, that's not... For some reason, Allwinter has casted this black and white, like, shade over all the world. There is no color in the world. I thought maybe it was just an art choice. Yeah, it seemed like it was just an art choice for the comic. Like, oh, okay, it's just, oh, cool, black and white. No, it's actually some kind of like curse or something that's going on. That's why Allwinter's there, and that's why this kid is special, because he's colored. You know, he has colors on him, and anything he touches, also colors come back. Now the thing is, I don't know who this kid is.
Okay. So that's what I was wondering, if he was like a character from DC.
From the DC universe. So far...
So he's not related to the person. She just happened to basically stumble upon him and start taking care of him.
Yeah, he's not... I don't think he's related to Adeline at all, which in the comics, that is Deathstroke's wife. That is actually that's actually who trained Deathstroke at first. And she also is the one that cuts out his eye. So it all kind of still makes sense. So with the Dark Knights of Steel world, there are some kind of things that are the same, some kind of things that are different, you know. But I don't know who this kid is. His name's Alec. And I have no idea who he is. And he wears green. He looks like a young Green Arrow or a young Aquaman, but he's not, because I don't know who this kid is. I don't know which direction it's going in and who he's supposed to be.
Maybe he's not from this comic.
An original character?
But he's the only person also with color.
That's weird.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And they said he is like supposed to save the world.
That's what Adeline said when she was like dying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is actually pretty wild. Adeline dies in this issue. She gets killed by their own daughter.
Slade dies too.
Yeah.
They both get killed.
Slade dies?
Yeah.
They both get killed.
He's like talking about fading into darkness at the end.
Slade's not dead.
He's dead.
He's the main character.
Not
anymore. The
No,
kid.
no. Slade has a regeneration of power.
What?
First
Yeah.
step of grief is
See,
denial.
he
Just
does.
like Deadpool.
No, he does. That's why Rose didn't die right away. His daughter Rose shows up, and she's another one of his kids, and she's also just like him. But with a little of another power, she can see slightly into the future.
Slightly.
But slightly. Only so slightly. It's like, oh, I kind of saw that coming. But when she gets smashed against the tree, she gets impaled, but she gets up almost immediately because she also has regeneration powers.
Mm-hmm.
Not as fast as Deadpool's. Adeline's definitely dead.
Mm-hmm.
She is 100% dead.
RP.
You know, she's like, oh, look at heavens.
Didn't she almost die at the beginning? Like.
She almost died at the beginning, but
and then she
but he
died.
saved her.
Yeah, I saved you for about one day. And then
Yeah.
Hey, that's one day's a lot back then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, that's pretty much what's kind of going on in Allwinter.
That's kind of interesting story so far, but
I think it is a lot of based on backstory and knowing the Dark Steel series. Like I think knowing that it has is pretty crucial.
I did watch the whole video of the comic story and it's talking about the comic.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really see how it ends in that one. There's a big old war, and there's a treaty amongst the three kingdoms, and there's nothing that's talked about Allwinter happening or some kind of like curse going on. It's kind of just like, okay, I was good in the realm. Okay, so and this one they mentioned the Old Kingdom.
Yeah,
they mentioned the Old Kingdom a lot. So I don't know, like, does this take place after that war happened, or does this take place way before?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I wish they would have a timestamp or something, because I'm a little confused myself.
Mm-hmm.
And
but it's also the only second issue.
It is only the second issue,
guess.
so maybe in the third issue they can talk more about it and whatnot. But then also in this, and there's also a second chapter where it talks about Aquaman. Like this, to summarize the chapter 2 of that, they just find there's a war going on between the Atlanteans, and then baby Aquaman gets washed up.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh,
baby.
a baby.
But what does that have to do for like the overall story?
I don't know.
Like if it's a prequel to the first series, then why does it matter? Was Aquaman in the first series?
No, that's the thing. Aquaman, I don't think he was. They mentioned him in Dark Knights of Steel, but he didn't show up or anything. And the only characters that show up from that one was John and Martha Kent, along with Amanda Waller.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who does know?
Okay.
Very
They
mysterious.
did fight under the Waynes. They did mention that.
The
Waynes. They were noblemen.
I thought it was like a slightly different art style because of the color change and stuff like that. I thought it was a preview for a different book. Instead of chapter 2.
Oh.
So that's why I didn't end up reading
I
it. I was confused whenever you brought it up earlier.
Yeah, I don't think it's a. I think it's just because those in the first issue it also ended like that too with the chapter 1 of the Aquaman story. So I think with each new issue of Allwinter, there's also going to be a next chapter for the Aquaman story going along.
Like little pieces of the.
Yeah, I don't think it's a preview going like, oh, this book's coming out. Like, no, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Two stories
in one. Yeah, 2 stories in one.
In one single issue.
Yeah. It's kind of like a post-credit scene.
Yeah. So what about Something Crawled Out?
Something Crawled Out, man. This is crazy. So this was from Vault Comics, one of our smaller pubs.
Smaller pub.
And it's a horror comic.
What?
A horror comic.
You can't say that word.
Horror. And yes, the writer is Sun M, and the artist is Mad Cursed.
Oh.
So nice job.
Dude's mad.
Yeah, so it's kind of confusing. I don't really. I mean,
Really? Because
I thought it was.
setup.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was pretty straightforward about his setup and everything.
It's confusing because it's the first one.
It's the
You
first
don't know
one,
the
yeah.
world.
they're not gonna reveal everything right away, but
Yeah.
also this feels kind of fun and very Twilight and very Twilight. Yeah.
Also, like,
I don't know
it has a
about
little bit of,
that.
like, not. I shouldn't say that it does, but like the vibes are definitely a little bit Cthulhu and like
yeah,
that work,
Lovecraft.
because the Call of the Abyss, whenever the first part of it, that felt really cool.
So
Yeah.
run us through like the story of like what happens in this issue.
So yeah, that's got the two, I think, main characters are Eddie and Rayner.
Yeah.
And they're best friends since they were 8 years old, I think they
6,
said,
I think, yeah.
something like that. And yeah, I guess Rayner is the devil.
That's
Maybe?
literally the first line.
Yeah, the first
My
line.
friend's the devil.
Yeah.
It's like the devil can do malicious things even if the devil doesn't know they're
Yeah.
the devil or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I was like, is he actually the devil or is he just dark and mysterious?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he like tells her to jump off the roof or whatever, and she does it.
Yeah.
So like he is the devil because
He has some kind of
he's
control.
like, do it, and she was
But-
like,
Then he was also, I can't tell if it was a facade or what was going on, because after he was like, wait, are you actually? And like calling back to
Yeah.
her, being like, stop, don't do it. So I don't know if that was a facade or him basically being taken over for that one line to
Like,
charm
oh, yeah.
her.
I mean, like it said in the comic that he doesn't know that he's the devil.
Yeah.
So like
that's
how
what
could-
I got.
So
From
It
that's
was
what I
just
was
kids
thinking.
being kids, like yeah,
jump
do it,
off.
jump.
Yeah.
But then it was like
The
she-
one moment of like,
Like,
putting
oh, why
that
you
in-
listen to me? Why you,
like the
what-
Call of the Abyss is like what I got
Yeah.
from that.
and she was like, okay, woo. Yeah, and then it went to when they were like more adults or whatever. Who knows how old? It didn't really specify.
I'd
but
say college age.
college age.
Yeah.
Small
In a
town.
small town, and then they work at a gas station together.
Wow.
Lots of exposition. Is that the right word?
I'd say
I'd say, like-
is that the right word?
there's some exposition in between. I
Yeah.
think it's more like setting up what's going on around them and everything.
Yeah.
Because like it's
World building.
There you go. There you go. That's what the word I was looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like there's missing kids.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Yeah, there's been missing people and whatnot.
Mm.
There's talks of Charlotte, who I assume is probably Eddie's sister.
The one in the beginning.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. So probably Eddie's sister. She's missing. Not missing officially, just
She's
not
hasn't-
answering anybody's
Yeah,
calls.
yeah, yeah.
But
and
then we're also told alongside that.
yeah, and
that
then it's
they're
like people are going missing, so it's like, oh, that's kind of.
She's at a friend.
She's at a friend's house. They sleep over. And then, yeah, so they go to work at the gas station. Stuff starts getting weird, and there's like blood in the ice machine.
Yeah.
In the ice cooler or whatever.
And
And then the generator goes out, and some weird guy shows up and peeks in the window.
Last
And
thing
then
is slasher.
that's literally that.
The slashing.
It's a slash scene slasher.
He just shows up.
He can't.
The writer literally saw the episode. It's literally this one, and then the lights go out. At the door, it's the hash slinging slasher.
No, but that setup
crazy.
is so funny. Like,
And then he just leaves. And,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, okay, cool.
I was so like bewildered whenever she pulled out the gun. The guy was just standing there. Like, he didn't do anything, which is like the weird.
He could have just been some guy like that strolled by as the generator went off, and he was like, "Oh, they must be closed."
Yeah.
He's like, I just saw the lights
wearing
on.
a gas mask with lights in it.
Maybe he just got from work. I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe he just wanted to
Maybe he
snack.
just got back from a
Who knows?
cosplay.
Yeah, maybe he did have a gun. I saw.
Did he?
Yeah, no, he had a gun in his hand.
Mm.
He had a gun in his hand. Yeah.
I'm tripping.
Look at it. What?
Let's see. Let's
Open
see.
it up. Open it up.
Let's see.
If you when he's like walking away, you see he has a handle.
That
Yep.
a gun.
It looks like a gun.
Oh yeah, okay,
Oh,
that is a
you're
gun.
so right.
Yeah, and then he's got the blood on his boot as he's walking away. Yeah,
Yeah. So that was sus.
that was sus.
But
Yeah.
also, Rainbow was
Ash
the only one to see the
slinging
blood on his
blaster.
I did not see he had blood in his boot. So explain. Maybe he's just a hunter.
And yeah, so she gets,
What?
so Eddie gets the gun out of the safe then. She
Yeah.
loads it up and she's like, I'll get him. And then Rayner walks back in and the generators just turn back on.
Mhm.
And then some, local guy walks in drunk and he's causing problems and harassing Eddie, and yeah, she just pulls a gun on him, which I thought was kind of...
That was really weird. Yeah, I was like, okay.
It's like,
you know this guy.
You've never pulled out this gun before.
Yeah.
And she's never held a gun before.
And now she's just going to go willy-nilly on it. She explains, I was like, I've never used it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't even doing anything like really bad. He was just being obnoxious.
Also, he was just taking the money out, right? He was just being like.
I mean, he was trying to.
He was trying to, but
he was super drunk too.
He was being really like
being a nuisance,
a nuisance about it. Yeah.
But
maybe he didn't have the money.
I mean, but still, like pulling a gun on this dude seems a bit extreme.
She did cock it too, and like, whoa.
Yeah, I know, for real.
You should have cocked it on the guy who was looking through the window with a gun.
Yeah, but then this guy with this drunk old man that's talking about getting lucky or something, like.
What was he buying? Was it condoms?
I think
it was condoms. So she's holding the gun out, right? And then it's like a bang. So it makes you think that like she pulled the trigger.
No,
and I was like, whoa, hold on.
I thought she did it. Yeah.
And then the next page, it was just some naked, disheveled woman holding a big
like a zombie, like
zombie,
like malnutritioned woman.
Yeah, all like green.
Ugh. She was like, I got him.
She had her flesh torn out in different places, and she just had a shotgun.
Yeah.
Being like.
And she was just in there, like, where'd she come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't they?
How did they not notice her? You're so right.
There was no ring-ding at the door or anything. Like,
she just appeared in there or something. Who knows? But and then she's like, they're coming for me, and they're like, who's coming? And then she just shoots herself.
The same people who are coming for her or something like that.
Yeah.
So that was really wild.
That was crazy.
That is quite the night shift.
Quite the night shift. Like 10 minutes into their shift, this all happened.
Yeah, they got there.
Lights go out. Hastings Slasher shows up. Oh, Chuck shows up, gets killed, and the local crazy cat lady shows up. Goes, they're coming.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I've been excited for this one for a while though. I saw when they kind of announced it.
Yeah.
And, the art style is pretty awesome. I like it a lot. One of the things I wrote on my notepad was everybody sexy.
I was about to say that. I'm like, why is everybody good looking in this comic?
It was when Rainer was like fixing the sink, and I was like,
Oh, lady, they're coming.
Interesting.
Yeah, but this was
love the colors.
It's really cool. Yeah. It's a really cool story and a really good first issue. Really good setup.
Intriguing as hell.
For sure. Yeah. Definitely my type of comic. It feels like a show, I guess, or a movie.
Alright, so let's slide on over here. This comic was really good. This clown!
No, this comic is sick.
No, this comic is sick. Tell us about it.
It starts out like a lot of crime or serial killer-esque comics start out, where it's just a very cocky guy walks into somewhere and
wait, what's it called?
Teasing them. Stand Still.
Oh, okay.
Ice Cream Man vibes.
Okay, gotcha.
So this is Stand Still. This is an Image comic, obviously, because I kind of always pick Image. But it's really good. Like it starts out, like I said, this guy walks into a biker bar, basically just being cocky, being like, I'm not queer. You guys are queer. Like, there's 5 minutes of him just being like, I'm not queer. You're queer.
I love that whole like spill he went on.
And he's like, I'm actually.
Actually, you guys.
Marlon Brando.
Actually, the person who started Biker Jackets was a queer guy, so he really developed that.
I mean, they were showing a lot of skin, but being just a bunch of dudes in a bar.
That's true.
But they're sitting here like. He's just basically teasing them, and I'm like, he's got to have something up his sleeve because he went to a biker bar talking crap. Like,
oh yeah.
There's no way he doesn't have something.
Yeah.
And the panel that got me was after he's being held up against the wall by one of the biker dudes for obviously making fun of all of them for being like queer or whatever, and he's gone. Like the next panel, like his hand is now on the wall instead of there, and then the next panel, it's like super weird. Because then the bad biker guy has a knife in his hand that's bloody and he's a little gash taken out, and then he turns around and everyone's dead and the guy's gone. Like it's really wild.
Yeah, I was really confused at first, and I was like, what?
And I was like, somebody has superpowers here. Somebody has
Yeah.
something here. And I got so excited because I love telekinesis, time stopping, super speed, like literally all of that.
It's crazy.
At first, I thought it was teleportation.
Yeah.
But then I noticed that also his knife was gone the moment he like teleported to, and he was back at the stool.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, is he teleporting or stopping time?
Yeah. I didn't put together stopping time at all because not a lot of people explore that. Like,
I feel like it's a really hard thing to get in comics because it doesn't move. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to tell.
Yeah,
But I think they did a pretty good job in this one.
for sure. It's like the little things, like later on in the actually no, keep telling me.
no, I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
like, it is the little things, like him having the knife being clean and then the knife being bloody and the gas taken out and looking around, everyone's dead. It's like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of feel the same way as the characters do in the book,
Yeah.
just less.
You have to do a double take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because I'm like looking back at the panels, I'm like, did I miss something? Like,
Yeah.
And then he's gone, and I'm like, well, is he like a hallucination? Is he a ghost? I didn't put together time travel because that's such a hard thing for people to explore because you can literally do anything. Like, you can absolutely do anything, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And they actually explore that a lot here because with all the news stories, like, we go to the scientist,
Something Shaw.
yeah,
Colin.
Colin Shaw. And turns out he's the guy who actually invented the watch that allows you to stop time that he got a hold of. I actually don't know the main character's name.
I don't think they said
I don't
that.
think they mentioned it either. No.
But the guy who teleports, he got the actual watch from him, from Shaw.
Yeah, Shaw. Let's just call him Professor Shaw.
He works in the government, he did all this stuff, and then he got fired for something that we're not quite sure of.
Yeah. And it looks like his girlfriend's leaving him.
Yeah. So he's like at his lowest. He's in the basement every single day trying to research, and you see all these news articles. And all these news articles are about like, oh, the Queen's jewels are gone on the same day that this has happened, on the same day that this is like, it really shows the like main character syndrome of somebody who has that power.
Yeah.
Kind of way.
Yeah.
Because like if you think about it, like what would you do if you had the power to stop time?
Yeah.
What wouldn't you do?
steal the Queen's
Yeah, what wouldn't you do?
Yeah.
Is the question that he asked.
Yeah.
And he actually sits down at this diner, the teleporter, and talks to this waitress about, what wouldn't you do? Can I ask you, like, what wouldn't you do if you had the ability to stop time? And she's like, well, what I would do is go and steal money from banks so I could stop working at this dead-end job.
Yeah.
And he stops time, leaves a bunch of money for her covered in blood that says, what wouldn't you do?
Yeah.
And then she freaks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, like, what could you possibly say or think of after seeing that? So time travel isn't real. Like, teleporting isn't real. Like, there's no way that somebody could convince me that is real.
And he did it right in front of her.
Yeah.
Like once he's gone.
I would think I'm crazy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Which is probably why she freaked out,
Yeah.
to be honest, alongside the blood. Like,
Right.
and I feel like, I mentioned this earlier, but it feels like a lead-in to Death Note, to be honest. Because you have the person who's doing the crimes or doing all the stuff, and the person that's trying to stop them.
Oh.
That's trying to be 3 steps ahead.
Oh, okay.
And if they both have the power to stop time, then there's only one person who can stop them, and that's the other person who can stop time, or knows how the device actually works.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it like that because like Shaw is kind of like L, and then also the guy who's stopping time is like Light. Oh wow!
Yeah, no. When I read this, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Really good anime, by the way.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
we mainly talk about comics, but check out Death Note.
But Stand Still is a lot like that, or at least it seems like it's leading into that, which is really cool, and I'm super excited.
How does the story end, though?
Oh, so in this actual comic, the teleporter is on this plane with this guy. I don't know if he knows him. It seems like he kind of does.
I don't think he knows him. I think he's just a dick.
He's just a bad guy, just harassing the hostess on the plane. And he stops time and just whispers basically a bunch of sweet nothings into his ear. And by sweet nothings, I mean all of his horrors. And basically gags him with the oxygen rebreather to make sure he can't talk. And then unfreezes time. And the hostess is like, okay, have a good day.
Yeah, she just like looks at him and smirks.
And then that guy goes,
Yeah.
he ends up in Pakistan, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes to some group.
I think the last like 2 pages.
Yeah. No, this is really cool. Honestly, I actually kind of enjoyed reading your guys' stories a lot more than mine. And I love DC.
Yeah.
But like, it falls along the line of, I know a lot of the lore of DC, and I know the connections to it and everything.
Yeah.
These are the stories that you can just pick up
Yeah.
and just start them off, and they're both like really good in their own.
Yeah.
What's the takeaway for this? You start
Read indie books.
read the smaller pubs.
Branch out a little more. Good night, everybody.
Bye, have a beautiful time.